You're listening to The Builder's Mindset with Mike DiGiovanni, presented by Amazing Mindsets. Welcome back. Episode 5. Magic number 5. I don't know. It's just another week, another episode. I'm just happy that I was able to make it this far. You know, like, what is this, like a ultra marathon or something? Well, maybe. We'll see. I don't know what's the equivalent of a 5K or a 10K, half marathon, or marathon in podcasting. But apparently, most of them, I don't know, don't go past. I don't know, I have to look that up. Hold on, let's take a look here. Average number of episodes. Oh, there we go. Average number of podcast episodes. Let's see what we got here. How many podcasts make it to 20 episodes? 90% of podcasts don't get past episode 3. We're already in the top 10%. Of the remaining 10%, 90% don't make it to episode 20. So that'll be our next milestone. We're going to get to 20, and we're going to get to 20 and beyond. So, and what a great episode for that kind of way to start off the discussion, because I wanted to talk about mindset, okay? I've been meeting a lot of new potential clients lately, or new clients that I've just started working with. And it's interesting, you know, I've found lots of opportunities lately to find the appropriate, moment to go, you know what the name of my company is, right? And they go, what? And I go, Amazing Mindsets. And they all love it. But a lot of people don't understand it, don't get it. And when I was coming up with it originally, I knew I wanted to do something about mindset, because I figured out while going through my journey and reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, amongst other Stoic philosophy and other different types of philosophy, that your mindset is so important to so many things, and good or bad. Like the Henry Ford quote, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And so why not, if you're going to have a mindset, why not have an amazing mindset, right? And obviously, if you have an amazing mindset, in Henry Ford's eyes, you're going to have an amazing day, potentially an amazing career, an amazing life. And, it's not always easy to have that outlook. And a lot of times we need little support. We need to surround ourselves with people who think like that, in my opinion. And, so hence there was born Amazing Mindsets. I thought about, building mindsets, building amazing mindsets, and I just kind of settled on Amazing Mindsets. I love the concept of amazing and striving for amazing in everything that we do. And the double exclamation point, in case you are wondering, is because just to me, I think, my dad, when I was growing up, he used to have all these really funny, I don't know if it's a euphemism or just these funny, silly things that he used to say. One of his things was when people would say, Bob, how you doing? He'd say, if I were any better, I'd be 2 people. And so why not have 2 exclamation points, be extra amazing, and try to keep your mind in that place as often as you can. Now, how does this, and how have I seen this relate in home building? A little bit of a lighthearted topic this time, and we'll see if I even go 20 minutes. I've really been trying to keep these less than 20 minutes, but I know I'm chatty. It's fine. Just owning who I am. I like to talk about things, like to chat, like to ramble. So what about amazing and a mindset can we talk about from a home building perspective? Well, home building can be challenging. I like to describe home building as a complex business that many people often complicate. What do I mean by that? The way we think about things and the way we look at things, we tend to complicate it. It's complex, don't get me wrong. But how do we approach that? What is our mindset as we look at things? Let me ask my listeners, as you're listening to me, how many of you have heard in this industry, in your time in this industry, oh, well, that's not how we do it. Oh, why do we do it that way? Well, we've always done it that way. That in and of itself is a mindset. That mindset is one that says, well, we can't find a simpler way, a better way. Or, oh, if it was good enough for the last guy, it's good enough for us, right? A friend of mine likes to joke and say that we still build houses the same way that George Washington built houses. And another gentleman from the industry likes to say, home building, 200 years of tradition unencumbered by progress. So if you shift your mindset a little bit, it's amazing what can happen. If you believe something can be different, it can. If you believe you can improve your margins, you can. If you believe you can make it simpler, you can. One of my examples that I love to share with people that I notice of a mindset shift with kind of not so much within the industry, but around the industry is, in September of 2018, when interest rates hit 5% for the first time in a long time. We were Great Recession going on, and wherever you think, the bottom hit 2012, 2013, 2014-ish. When interest rates hit 5% in 2018, it was almost like there was a faucet on sales, like a spigot, the garden hose, the thing we used to drink out of when we were kids. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Gen X. It was like they shut the hose off of sales, and it's going to be, the end of the world, right? And I was talking to somebody who was a millennial, and they were in the industry, and they were in, kind of analyzing price and sales and data and whatnot. And I said, well, what do you think what happened? And their response was, this looks like the highest interest rates will ever be. So why buy? Gotta wait, right? They're gonna come down. Millennials had never seen interest rates that high. And yes, they did eventually come down, but that's not the point. We're going to connect to a long time. But I remember, I think my mom's first mortgage on my house when I was in high school in like 1984, 5. I want to say it was like 12 or 13%. Her first mortgage, not second, first mortgage. And this guy I was talking to said, like, these millennials, they don't know about that. Like they have no understanding of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18% mortgage rates. All they've ever known is 3, 4, and now 5. So it's the biggest, it's the highest they've ever been. And so they stopped buying. Fast forward to October of 2022. Interest rates hit 7%. 7, okay? The faucet didn't fully turn off, but it sure got closed a bit for a little while. But here's what I want to... That January of 2023 was a pretty solid year of sales. Usually in home building, when we come around, like things slow up November, December, October, November, December, seasonality of the business. January's not usually much to speak of. February, we talk about Super Bowl Sunday in terms of usually late February is the time when we decide if it's going to be a good year or a bad year. And if February's not great, we tend to be a reasonably optimistic bunch in this industry. We go, well, let's wait till March, okay? March, spring, selling season should be here. But those millennials who shut the faucet off on sales in September of 2018 when interest rates hit 5%, very shortly thereafter, interest rates hitting 7% in October of 2022, they were back. And if you look at the advertisements today, builders are buying mortgage rates down. Yep, and they're buying them down to 5%, let's say, arguably 4.99. And if you read the fine print, I think the APR is like 5.32 or something like that. And guess what they're doing? They're buying houses. That's a mindset shift. Now, there were some external forces, right? Seeing interest rates now at 7% tells you that 5% is not the highest they could get. And they're not quite sure they're coming down until recently. Yep, I get it, until recently, right? And that's what the episode 3 was about, the interesting thing about interest rates. But that's how mindset is. And let's be honest, we talk about consumer confidence all the time. That's just mindset. That's how you think. What is your outlook on how things are going to be going forward? And it permeates this industry in a big way. They do, like Builder Outlook, like the Builder Sentiment Survey. We literally survey the leaders of home builders and ask them, what is your mindset about the building industry? They don't say, what is the mindset? They, what is your outlook? But that is generally their mindset on what's happening. Have you ever worked with somebody? This is a tough business. Like I said, I started out by saying it's complex. It is a complex business. But those field managers and those people who run their jobs like George Costanza, like everything is like the end of the world, hair on fire, hide under your desk, screaming, ranting, and raving. How is it that some people in this industry can think like that and other people, have a different outlook? I would say it has to do with their overall mindset. And I believe that sales, same thing. I don't think that you can be a solid, successful salesperson with a shitty mindset. And so I'm a big believer. I know your vibe attracts your tribe. And so if your mindset is one of endurance, fortitude, pushing forward, you have a much better chance of finishing that home on time, making your target your goal, making your home buyer happy. And look, we have no control over interest rates. None whatsoever. And we do have control over how we show up on the sales floor, how we show up at the office, how we interact and how we show up with our trade partners, our mortgage teams, our superintendents, construction managers in the field, how we interact with them, how we think things are going to be today or tomorrow. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. A lot of you know that I run really long races, and I recently completed my first 100-mile race. And about mile 47, I had spent the better part of the previous hour and a half in garbage mindset. I'd quit that race as I was coming up to the next checkpoint, aid station. And I told the story in my head several times as to why it was going to be okay that I DNF, did not finish. My mindset was defeatist, ultimately, at that time. And when I got to the aid station, I told my crew I wanted to quit. They reminded me of something that I had told them a week prior, what I wanted them to remind me when I told them I wanted to quit, because we knew it would happen. They reminded me of tomorrow. And what tomorrow means for me, whether it's in a race or in life, personal, professional, athletic, whatever it may be, you're making your future memories right now. The choices and the decisions you make, the mindset you bring to the game, bring to the table, bring to work, they are making your future memories right now. And so for me, what that was telling me when I told him to say that to me was, Mike, think about this in one of two ways. If you quit, what will that future memory be like tomorrow? And if you don't quit and you find the way to push forward, what will those memories be like tomorrow? Thankfully, it got through to me. It took me about 20 to 25 minutes to get off my butt and get going and start moving again. And I finished the race respectably. And the tomorrow from then was amazing. So, just like in home building, we're going to run up against challenges. Interest rates are going to do what they're going to do. The market's going to do what it's going to do. Anybody remember, COVID times when we were building so many houses we couldn't keep up? I keep saying this. I believe the system in the United States is built right now is set up. It can handle about 1.4-ish, 1.5 million starts a year. Remember when we were over that? 1.678? It was nuts. Well, there is a housing shortage. There's a supply. We're in a supply deficit. We need to build that many homes. We just don't have the people to do it. So trust me, it's going to get hard. How are you going to approach that when that happens? How are you going to approach when you have a team that's overworked? When you realize you don't have a process that's ready and deployed to handle the increased workload? When you have trade partner, you have a builder that is making your life difficult. Builder, when you have a trade partner that is not performing, or multiple. Oh my gosh, my starts are up 30%. Why can't my trades just scale? Your mindset to how to problem solve. You have to have the right mindset because you're going to face challenges. You're going to go through things that you didn't expect, and you have to be prepared for them. So I like to say you can't train for everything, but you can be ready, prepared, and have the right mindset for anything. You're going to have to troubleshoot. And if you're in a positive and an amazing mindset, you will be able to work through it, to navigate that. So get ready, because it's about to get I almost just came up with a little Beastie Boys there, But seriously, get ready, because we're about to go for a wild ride, in my opinion, over the next 3 to 5 years. And there's going to be all manner of challenges that come at you. And are you going to be prepared to capitalize, to take advantage of all of them? If you have the right mindset, the right plan, as I said, you can't train for everything, but you can be prepared for anything. So, Carlos Castaneda wrote in Don Juan, or his character Don Juan said, the warrior sees everything as a challenge. The ordinary man, person, company sees everything as either a blessing or a curse. That rising tide lifts all boats, but you know what? That falling tide brings them all down too. Are you ready for either? Listen, I hope you have the skills and the people and the process and the mindset to capitalize on what's coming, and I hope you're ready for anything. Have an amazing day. See you next time. Thanks for listening to The Builder's Mindset with Mike DiGiovanni, presented by Amazing Mindsets. Remember, your mindset matters.